So this is my end of week 2, beginning of week 3 reflection and looking forward video. I had a really good day teaching on Thursday. Thursday's always crazy because I do men choir and then women's choir right afterwards. But they did really well. The men, oh my word, they were missing a couple of their really key people that are both good singers and good leaders. And it was pretty obvious the behavior was kind of going down the drain. So I had to lay down the law a little bit, which was good, but also bad because I was mean. And they got a lot done in the end. There's one piece that's the mustache song. There's one piece I need to work on that. But they can't seem to focus enough to take it seriously. So that was a little frustrating. I also think I'm going to need to pick out a new piece for them. I'm thinking about the piece Doulemon, which is fast and in like Gaelic, and it's the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. So the rhythm's really tricky, but it repeats over and over again. I just have to have a rock star soloist, which I know that I do in that choir. So I think I'm going to pick that up and maybe try it with them sometime this next week. But I think they need another piece because all their pieces are TB. And when I worked with them in September, I picked out a TTB piece for them. And they did fine. So I'm like, this is like regressing. They need some harder music. It's more challenging. Or they at least need one piece that they can reach for and a couple pieces that they can do no problem, and then one in the middle that's like they're going to have to work for it, but it's totally within their grasp. So Brett told me that he found out that he has a little more money, so I think I'm going to look into maybe a couple more pieces for them and for the women's choir. The women's choir did really well. We had a little chit-chat about respect, so that was really good. I'm very interested to see at the end of this semester who goes and who stays, because I have no clue, which is why I haven't started my work sample yet. Since I know you're going to watch this, Tina, what I really want to do for my work sample, and I'm terrified to bring this up because no one's ever talked about this before. For the 6th graders, I really want to do basic music theory, like, basic music reading, because right now I don't think that they've done very much of that at all. I think Leanne's been teaching them pretty much solely by rote. So 6th graders, easy. I know what I want to do. But that's also a class that it could be a totally different class at the semester change. So I'm going to be ready to give that pretest like day 1 of the next semester because I want to get started. With the women's choir, what I really want to do, I really want to do a work sample on I really want to do a work sample on, I want to call it like body mapping, but also like understanding the physical mechanism of their voice. Because in the fall, that actually came up a lot, like the physical structure of their vocal cords. Because we had a girl who they thought had nodes, and then of course they wanted to know what nodes were. And then they wanted to know like how the voice works, and that was a discussion we had in the fall. We did a little presentation on how the vocal cords work. But I was thinking like it's totally testable. Like they could answer questions about like for example, what causes the type of breath, and of course it's the tension, and they could do things like, they could answer questions like, how many jaw bones do we have? Which is kind of a trick question because you really only have like one part of your jaw that moves, or stuff like that. And they can label diagrams with different parts of your body. Like, I don't know. I'm really interested in it because I personally like something that really interests me is like the physical structures and movements of breathing and singing. And I, of course, when I was in high school, had no freaking clue how any of that worked until I was in college. And I just think I could make it a really fun unit for them that could obviously be really applicable, so that they really learn about, like, you know, what the resonators are and how that works, and then finding a way to apply that to singing. So I'm like, I want to do it because I feel like it's something that I want to learn more about, and I want to be I want to be more knowledgeable on that for me personally, and so I really want to teach it because I think it would be really fun, and I feel like I would come away with more. But I also haven't talked to anybody about that yet because I don't know if it's actually doable, and if not, then maybe I'll do song analysis or something. For that choir also, I think I need at least one more piece for the women's choir, because the 2 pieces that Brett picked out are both SA, and they're singing them really well. In fact, they're almost memorized. There's not a whole lot left to do with them. We've talked about a lot of stuff, and I think I'm gonna do Adiemos by Carl Jenkins with them because I think they'll love it. And there's also another solo opportunity, totally different type of solo though. So, and I might use a small group of girls instead of a solo for that. So that will be fun. I think they'll really dig into it, especially because I chose songs that are really high and this sits lower. So my goal is to make sure that they all are stretching their entire range and not just becoming sopranos and altos. So I picked Homeward Bound, which is high for everybody at times, and then I picked this Adiemos, which it's pretty low for everybody. So I just want them to understand that at this point in their lives, for the most part, they're not really a definite soprano or an alto, and that they can sing every range right now that I'm giving them. So I think that'll be really good. Other than that, pretty ready to start school again next week. I think Tina's coming to observe me. I'm actually really excited and nervous, but I'm mostly excited because I love the 2 groups that I love all my groups, but I think it'll be really fun for her to see man choir and women's choir after all these stories. Other than that, everything is going really well. I love my cooperating teachers, and I'm so happy for the opportunities that they give me. And my process folio looks awesome. I've done a lot of work on that too. So everything I don't think could go much better than it's going right now, and I'm really happy with where I'm at in this process. And really so looking forward to getting done with it because especially with OMEA this weekend and just the fun I've had student teaching the last 2 weeks, I feel like I'm so ready to just be a teacher. Of course, I'm really not ready, but I'm so excited for it. So everything is A-okay, wonderfully great, and I'm hoping for an excellent week next week. Ta-ta!